Thank you for bringing the light over the darkness. This is a song I wrote for my mother when she passed away. It's called Requiem, but it's about the unconditional love of the universal mother and also crossing into the other dimension, into the light, dancing with the angel of death, accompanied by the drum and the voice. And it really has to honor all mothers. It's not only for my mother, but for all the mothers, and the unconditional love of the mother and the Black Madonna.
My
going to continue with chants dedicated to the Black Madonna, which is a very important part of my work. Way back in the 80s, I began a journey of learning Southern Italian folk music, rituals, and dance, and ended up in many places, including Mayor de Blasio's town, Sant'Agata dei Goti, where now I go every summer. Because next to that town, there is a Black Madonna, Madonna della Libera, and she's a very important Madonna, and connected to ancient rituals that come from Egypt, therefore from Africa. And these two towns, Sant'Agata dei Goti and Moiano, celebrate this Madonna very strongly every September. So the next piece is a chant actually from the Middle Ages, and if you don't know Sant'Agata dei Goti, you should go, because it's really an incredible medieval town. Very few places are like that. Totally magical. And so in the Middle Ages, there was a strong devotion coming back to the Black Virgin, the Black Mother. And they used to worship her with drumming, with dance, with trance dances, and processing in the streets with the statues, which they still do today. And also, it was a time of the plague, when people lived in fear of death by the plague, fear of the end of the world, and all the different wars between the Christians and the Muslims, and today nothing has really changed. So I always say this and I make this point because I feel like we are back in the Middle Ages, in this incredible time. But at that time there was a devotion to the Great Mother, to the Black Madonna, to some saints, and they expelled that feeling of fear and sadness by drumming and dancing in circles. So the first piece is called Cum tisimus concanentes. It's actually in Latin, it comes also from Spain, and the rhythm that segue is from Calabria, from the devotion to the Black Madonna, la Madonna dei Poveri.
like to give you a demonstration of the hoop dance. And this dance originated among the Taos people out in New Mexico. And again, it was a healing dance where a young man's father was ill. And this young man was praying for his father to get better. And as he was praying, the Creator came to him and told him to go out in the desert and build these hoops in a circle made out of wood. And during this dance, he taught them how to dance through these hoops one by one. They'll pick them up without using their hands. And they'll dance through these hoops, and they'll make designs and pantomime of the animals and the trees, and the essence of the male and the essence of the female, because you can't have one without the other. And this young man did that, and he danced his style, and his father got better. But nowadays, it's a very popular dance among many of the tribes, and they have what they call the World Hoop Dance Championships out in the Herd Museum out in Phoenix, Arizona, every February. And when Josephine first wanted to do this dance, she was about 8 years old. And it was the first time that they ever had a woman champion. She was from Canada. She won that hoop dance championship, and Josephine came to me and said she wanted to learn this dance. So we taught her this dance, but she comes from a long line of hoop dancers right here in New York City. Her great uncle Louis Mopsy, the director of the Thunderbird American Dancers, who will be performing here at the end of January. He first performed this hoop dance here in the New York City area in 1963. So it was about 70 years ago, and actually it was a little earlier than that, 1959 I think. But I don't know, I'm confused. But anyway, he performed that dance first here as part of the Little Eagles out here in Brooklyn, New York. And we're very proud that Josephine continues to do this dance and wants to continue with it. And we're very, very happy to present Josephine and the hoop dance.